What's up guys, Nas is the God, and today I will be bringing you a video on Terraria. This is the new Christmas boss, the Frost Moon. I just used the Naughty Present to summon it, and it is a wave-based boss fight. So basically, it's very similar to the Halloween boss fight in which you summon the boss and you have to fight through waves of enemies through the night. Each wave, they get harder. In this fight there are 20 waves. And like I said earlier, each is in increasing difficulty. So basically my setup for this is I have campfires. So basically the first thing I do is I flatten out the ground so it's easy for me to move back and forth. Then I have campfires set up so I'm constantly slowly regenerating health, which is very important in most boss fights. I recommend campfires for pretty much every boss fight in the game, actually, to be honest. And then I have water candles set up, actually, and what water candles do is they attract enemies, and basically that'll spawn more enemies so that I get more kills, and the waves are based on how many enemies you kill. So basically for like wave 1, for example, you might have to kill like 20 enemies, and if the water candles are spawning the enemies faster, I can kill them faster and be more efficient that way. Basically, my problem with this is that I don't kill the enemies fast enough. Not necessarily that I die. I do die, but I have a spawn set up right next to my my little battleground here, so that right when I die, I can heal and get back into the fight and keep working on that. Now, the problem is that if nighttime is over and it goes daytime, then the boss fight ends and the waves stop coming. And that's the major problem, because if there wasn't a limitation on time, then you could, in theory, I could basically continue to die, and I wouldn't have any problems until I'd run out of health potions. Especially due to the fact that I'm wearing Spectre Armor, which is this is like totally necessary if you're especially if you're doing this alone. It's very good. I recommend it for group fights too, but if you're alone, you're going to need it. It's Spectre Armor, and basically whenever you deal damage with a magic weapon, you'll heal. As you can see, when I damage enemies, I get these little like white things that fly towards me, and my health is pretty much constantly regenning. And that's very important because these guys are going to be hitting you very hard and doing a lot of damage to you. So I'm also using the Staff of the Frost Hydra, the Rainbow Gun, which you can see me use right there, and the Razor Pine. Now the Razor Pine is my primary weapon due to the fact I also have a Godly Razor Pine, so it does a huge amount of damage, which is very important for killing mobs quickly. But it's also, since it's a magic weapon, it's actually the most powerful magic weapon in the game. Since it's a magic weapon and it shoots so quickly, I'll be almost constantly regenerating health, unless, of course, I run out of mana, like I just did, and I just switched to my non-mana weapon, which in this case is my Christmas tree sword. So basically, my strategy is, in the first couple of rounds especially, I'm going to be using the Rainbow Gun a lot because it doesn't use that much mana, especially compared to the Razor Pine. But when they all line up and you use the Rainbow Gun, it does a ton of damage. And not only are you killing mobs quickly like that, as you can see all of these numbers at the bottom, that's how many times I'm hitting them. And not only are you going to be doing a ton of damage to your enemies, you're also going to be healing a lot too. And then another thing is, so pretty much, I keep saying pretty much, but I put down this rainbow, and that'll be doing damage, but there cuts to a point where there's so many mobs that it's not even killing them, it's just doing damage to them. So to kind of finish them off, I go ahead and use my Razor Pine. I also have a crystal ball set in the center of my little battle arena, because when you have the crystal ball, you get more mana. I believe you maybe regen mana or something. It's very good for if you're using magic weapons, and I'm only using magic weapons pretty much. That's what my whole tactic is based around. And so basically, before the fight starts, I'll go ahead and click the crystal ball, get my mana going, get my mana flowing. Then I'll put down my staff of summon the boss. Use the naughty present to summon the boss. They'll start coming. Go ahead and put my staff of the Frost Hydra down in the center of the battlefield, which is that little ice guy in the center that's shooting at the enemies, and you'll get a little bit of damage from that. And then I go ahead and pull out my Razor Pine, and I start destroying all the enemies. Okay, so I died there. Basically, there are a couple of different mobs. You have the elves. Those are not a problem at all, even when they're in large groups, especially if you have the rainbow gun. As you can see, I just spawned out of that little hut I have set up there so that I can get back right into the fight and be more efficient. But anyways, there are the elves, the gingerbread men. Those guys are easy. Those guys are super easy to kill. Then you have the little presents. Now they're like mimics. They're basically, they look like presents, and then when you get close to them, they start like jumping at you and chomping at you. But when you kill them, they drop a lot of health. Actually, a lot of these guys drop a lot of health, and they actually do drop mana crystals as well, which is very important. The mimics or the little presents will drop health. Then there are these big nutcrackers. There are also then the first boss you're gonna encounter is those tree guys, that giant tree, and he's not too hard. I just hit him with a rainbow gun, then I spam him with my Razor Pine. You also have the Santa Claus. That's a thing that's a little bit harder, especially when they're in groups. There's one of the little present guys, pretty much a mixture of all those guys is what really kills me. The helicopters are deadly too. They do a lot of damage. They have machine guns. They do a ton of damage. And I don't actually make it to wave 20 on this try, but I thought I'd just show you guys, like what it looks like and basically my strategy that actually hasn't been working out too well. I also recommend you bring a ton of mana potions with you because you can buy those from the wizard. They're pretty cheap. But just go ahead and get a bunch of those. I want to get the mana flower so that I use less mana and it automatically uses them. So I'm also more efficient, and it's about to turn into daytime. They're just dancing on my corpse there. But yeah, basically if you use the Spectre, my strategy, guys, use the Spectre Armor and a combination of weapons. So this has been a Nos the God video. I pretty much epically failed on this, but I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. Thanks for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more gaming videos. And thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.